people come to me, Shane, and they want to know, like, I'm interested in, football, basketball. I also love knitting, just throwing stuff out here. How do I pick my niche?
I guess that kind of depends on the why a little bit, because everybody's running towards something or away from something. Okay. So like I was running definitely away from something. So I needed, we needed a path that could produce. And I think the best option that we had at the time was to really lean in on what our careers were, because we could produce that fast, and if it didn't work out, we always had the resources that we could use on our own time. So I think the more you're running from something, you lean on your God-given skills, talents, knowledge, the experiences that you have along the way, your career path, you lean on those skills you're really, really good at, even if they don't, your passions and hobbies can come later, the thing you love. Right. So that's what I would say there. If you're content and you're like, man, I want to add a side income of 50 people paying me $50 a month. I want to pursue my hobbies and my passions. If you're running toward a goal and a dream like that, like of using your time where you want it and maybe making some money on the side, that's really when those niches come in, or those hobbies, those passions, those things you really, really like, like football was a little bit of both for me. That was really cool. But Jocelyn, 3 years after we had Elementary Librarian, we sold it. I mean, because she just wasn't passionate about librarians. It just had dominated and made so much money. So we actually sold that business because she just wasn't a librarian anymore. So she was ready to kind of move on, to let it go and go to Flipped Lifestyle.
That's good. So you pick your niche and then you start finding your audience. Is it pretty much the same hand-to-hand combat at the beginning of that? Depends. If you have no audience whatsoever, you don't have any connections.
There's still that open your wallet.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. If you've got disposable income, it happens a lot faster. You can put yourself in the right place to be at the right place at the right time. You can buy tickets to live events. You can go out and network and meet people faster. You can go get in front of other people's audience by making connections and being guests on podcasts, things like that. You can buy Facebook and Google and Pinterest ads, and you can get your message in front of people, or maybe even hire someone who knows all about online marketing, and then they can go run the ads for you. So, there is always going to be both. It is definitely a circle, it's a yin yang. There's always going to be the roll up your sleeves. There's always going to be the open your wallet. But if you can do both in the beginning, it's definitely going to help you succeed faster, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. We tell our audience the same thing. We find, where's your people hanging out online and off, especially online though, and just get in front of them and serve them, just answer their questions.
And I'll tell you, man, I've been in this game 10 years now, and the rolling up the sleeves works the best. I swear it does, man. Like, I mean, just think about me and you hanging out here today. Like I was in my pickup truck driving down to Dale Hollow Reservoir last year. And me and some buddies of mine who are also online entrepreneurs, we rent a houseboat every year, and we go get away for a week, right? Just go out there on the, we disappear, no service, no nothing for a week, And I was listening to this book. It's called The Dream 100 by Dana Derricks. And I was just like, he was talking about this, like, can you find 100 people who can help you and serve them without any thought of getting anything back.
Yeah.
And you'll be shocked at what actually flows back your way.
Yes.
And I just went all back in on connections last year, man. And I've just done nothing but make connections and just look for people who I can help. Like one way I met Dan, I met him through Aaron Walker, a mutual friend. And I just love Aaron Walker so much. And I got to know Dan, and I had him on my podcast to just share him with my audience. And I was like, man, I just want to help these guys. And I just did a 2-hour coaching call with them because, and man, you talk about coming back. I mean, those guys, man, they live and breathe reciprocity.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, man. So like that rolling up your sleeves, getting out there and just meeting people, pandemic or not. Come on now, shake hands and hug, y'all. We're back.
That's right.
I'm vaccinated. I can do it.
Yeah.
Like just get out there and like make these connections, and don't go at it like I want other people to help me. Like, what can I do for other people? Like I had you on my podcast. I don't know you from Adam until today, and we've had a great time.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So so I mean, stuff like that really is the best way to do it.
Yeah. Any advice on reaching out to somebody that, like with Dan, we had a mutual connection, but let's say that, pretend Dan Miller, you've never met him. You're not really sure you know anybody that knows him, but you feel like, man, I want to make a connection with him. What's some advice for reaching out to somebody, not in a weird, creepy way, in a way that they're actually going to notice? Because guys like Dan get hundreds of emails.
Yeah, man. The first thing, I become their customer. Period.
Yes.
I go buy their book. I go join their membership. I buy their courses.
Right.
Like I got Dan's book sitting on my shelf. It's an important part of my story.
Yep. Me too.
Share their stuff on social.
Yes.
Don't just reach out to them, like retweet. If you have any kind of audience, share it like crazy. You know, and also too, just become a fan. Like sing their praises. Like I became friends with Pat Flynn because I'm a testimonial for him. Everywhere I go, I promise you, I will, every time I speak on a stage, you better believe I'm telling people about Pat Flynn and the Smart Passive Income podcast because he changed my life.
Yes.
And then he changed my life again when I paid him and became his customer. And then he changed my life again when he had me as a guest, a testimonial on his podcast. And then he became my friend, and the dude changes my life on a daily basis every time we text each other. Pat called me about 2 weeks ago and he's like, hey man, my 500th episode of the Smart Passive Income podcast is coming on. And my team and me unanimously agreed that we think you should come host the show and let me be your guest on SPI.
Oh my goodness.
And I never would have thought that's not even something I could have imagined being a possibility. Yeah. I just love Pat Flynn. Like I'm getting emotional about it, you know, like I just love that dude. Yeah. And everything I've ever done is just like he had a live event a couple years ago. It was called Flynn Con, right? It was 2019. Heard he was having it, saw the announcement. I sent him a text and I said, don't pay me. You don't have to do anything. You just tell us when and what you want us to do. And me and Jocelyn will be on an airplane to San Diego, California to be there for you.
Wow.
And he had us on stage and we talked and interviewed. He interviewed us on stage and we, not a dime. Don't need it. I'm still thanking you for everything you've done for me.
Absolutely.
So that I would say that is the progression that it's the people think you're going to read a lot of books that say, go to these events, say these things, follow these scripts. No, become a fan, become a customer, serve them in every way you can, put yourself in the places that they are going to be so that you have a chance to meet them when you do. And then don't try to force it. Just do whatever you can to help them. And hey, listen, 90% of the people I've ever met probably will never do a thing for me, but it's the 10% that make the difference.
Gosh. If you like this video, check out the full interview in the link below, or click here for more streams of income content.